IVM.
50 Shades of Grey, a book that changed my life. It's available, of course, on Storytel, which is my favorite way to find a book. I'm not plugging it. I'm just saying it because if I don't say, they won't let me out of this place. People are very aggressive here. No, I'm not. I'm kidding. I love this place. Storytel is the place to be because if you like to read, you have to rediscover reading through Storytel. Now, I can't plug it any more than this, guys. All right, I can't. But 50 Shades of Grey is a book that changed my life. In a nutshell, I'll tell you about the book. It's actually got far less erotica than you imagine. It's a fat, bloody book like a big dumbbell, probably a 12.5 kilo one. And then you open it, and if you go in terms of proportion, the erotica per se is less than 1/27th because I counted the words. So it's a lot of hard work to get to the point. So if that's what you're looking for, it might not be the deal you want. But if you want to have a great enjoyment from a female perspective of a slightly S&M nature situation, and if that's what you like, and from a literary point of view as well, then 50 Shades of Grey passes my review test and gets 3.5 stars and a bouquet. So keep in mind that if you go through storytel.com/IVM, you get a 30-day free trial as against a 14-day free trial on the link. All right, it's very simple. All you got to do is log on to storytel.com/IVM. Millions and millions and millions of stories, many written by me. All that and more. Find it all on Storytel. The language used on the podcast may not be fit for consumption. We warn you, tread carefully. But listen, yaar, don't be so conservative.
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
It's election season. Time for me to give a new slogan. It goes like this. Gali gali mein gul hai, gali gali mein gul hai, abhi cock and bull hai, abhi cock and bull hai.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Yes, before we start this wonderful show, I had a fight with my colleague Mohit Mahale over whether the Mumbai Indians match was fixed. He claims it was. How did they win this match against Chennai, one of the games that happened? Well, I just want to say once and for all for cricket baiters out there, stop with the fixing. Let me explain to you what is fixed, okay? Your hair is fixed. You can fix it. The clothes you wear, you fix it. Your marriage, you can fix that. Your kids, admission to school and college, fixed. Your village, fixed. Elections, fixed. But not cricket. Leave my game alone. It's not fixed. Except certain subcontinental matches which I can't mention. But for now, it's called Cock and Bull. We'll be right back after this break.
Hi, my name is Anupam Gupta. I'm B50 on Twitter. I am the host of Paisa Vaisa, the show that talks money. On my show, I speak to experts from every field of money and finance. From stock markets, equities, debt funds, credit cards, life insurance, every possible area of money and finance that you can think of. We even did an episode on cryptocurrency. I've got fantastic guests from mutual funds to personal finance experts everywhere. Robo-advisory, startups, just name it, we've got it. At Paisa Vaisa, we help you make smart decisions about money. You work hard for money. Now make your money work hard for you. New episodes out every Monday, and you can listen to my show on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you have. Paisa Vaisa is brought to you by Paytm Money.
Well, right. Aishwarya, welcome to the show. I saw you. I said your name wrong. I bit my tongue and I banged the mic. So you can see the effect you have on men. Well, old men for sure. Young men, I'm sure as well. Speaking of young men, Amit is only 45. He's just 45 is right?
That's right.
45 years old. Abbas is anything between 20 and 40. He's like the Stonehenge in England if you've ever been there. Nobody knows the exact date.
I know.
But I will not ask you your
just
age.
turned 30.
You just turned 30?
31 actually.
Last year.
31. But he's from Lucknow. It might be 32. We don't know.
That's also
We'll have to see things. He'll show us. Aishwarya, welcome to the show.
Thank
Tell
you
us a little
so
bit
much.
about yourself. I know you're a comedian, actress, singer, dancer, explorer, animal rights activist.
I guess you got the wrong, Aishwarya. That's not me. I'm just a stand-up comedian and a writer.
What's just? How dare you
That's
say
it.
just? Stand-up comedians are taking over the world. See the politicians we have. I won't take names, but you just look around. But tell us a little bit about yourself. So you do a lot of comedy? Improv?
Yes.
What?
No, I do only stand-up, not improv. I started doing comedy in 2017 and have been doing it since then. I did the show called Comicstan.
Oh.
Yeah, I was in
It's
that.
on Netflix. It's on Amazon.
Fuck off.
I'm so sorry, but I see it when I'm going through all the time. But I'm a racist, so I don't watch anything Indian. But otherwise, I would have watched it. If not for this one problem that I have. My wife keeps saying,
right?
can we watch that police crime or whatever, police story? Delhi crime, which has Gopal.
So good.
Gopal is in it, my colleague.
Gopal's in it?
A big role. And my wife was worried. You know my problem. I can't watch it because it's Indian. So we can't watch it.
Really good.
But it's Indian.
So what?
I can't watch it.
It's good.
It's a problem I have to go to see a doctor about. I can't just fix
but
it.
then, by that measure, then you can't watch stuff you're in also, right?
I never watched stuff I'm in. I've never heard a podcast in my life.
How do you do your Amitabh Bachchan hero worship?
But that was in the old days.
I did.
So at what point did that flip happen?
Because now he's doing KBC. That's not quite my scene. Rishte mein hum tumhare baap hai. Naam hai Shahenshah. That's my scene. I still say those lines and the reference is lost on everyone.
When
you get into a fight with a cabbie and you say...
Amitabh stopped coming in the movies. You were like, that's it. I'm not watching any more Hindi
No,
stuff.
when he started doing other kind of roles like Aankhein and all that, the different kind of roles are there. But I like the 80s. So, like the gentleman on my left. The 80s was a different period for us. Amitabh just changed clothes, went to the next set and boom, huge film.
That is true.
Aishwarya, wonderful to have you here. I've lost interest in you now. I'm just going to move on. I'm kidding. You're wonderful.
She's also an Insta celebrity. She makes jokes on Instagram at the cost of her parents.
Oh yeah.
What does that mean?
That's basically I use my parents to gain followers because they're adorable. So it's very easy hack. I just need to put them in front of the camera. They say like really cute stuff.
How
and
sweet.
I get followers.
Really?
And I love my parents, if that's not evident.
You split the money 3 ways. It's fine. You use a lot of bad language, Aishwarya. Is it just me that brings that out in you, or is it
I
a normal
don't know.
thing?
We were talking about fuck before this.
Yes, we were.
Yeah.
We were talking about the Wire scene, no?
Yeah.
You were saying.
Yeah. No, there's a scene in
Offline.
The Wire which is basically the whole scene is constructed with the word fuck.
Right.
And it's really good.
But it makes a lot of sense, you said.
It does. It's
It's the
completely
layers
coherent.
and layers of dialogue with just one word.
so it's just
going
basically-
through, like, explaining the nuances of how a river starts from one end and ends in the other.
Not quite. That is basically they're examining a murder scene and they just go fuck. And it's basically everything you see is kind of acted out really well. Abbas can put the...
Yeah,
Well, I remember...
As someone who beeps these episodes, I would like to
Hey,
steer.
it's not beeped. My previous
Well-
podcast, my mom heard it. She was very upset.
So
Really?
it is... we beep on for a few platforms. We don't beep for everybody else.
Oh, okay.
So
not
Abbas
for
still
you.
has to do the work.
But let me... there's a song called Please Don't Go, which is the same thing. It's the same one line in the whole song.
Yeah.
Much like this whole wire fuck thing.
Yes.
There was Please Don't Go, but well before Aishwarya was born. Apparently she was born after Please Don't Go, the weekend after they released. So it's just this. Please don't go. Please don't go. Don't go. Please don't go. Please don't go. Don't go. Please don't go.
That sounds like
but it
every
conveys,
Himesh Ramya song, to be
love,
honest.
romance, loss, awkward rental rates, parking not available. Everything in that one verse. It's fabulous. For me, it was the most moving game changer. Please don't go. I don't know who sang it though. I have no idea. I was too drunk in Leopold when they played it.
I've heard the Aerosmith version of it.
Was it Aerosmith?
Aerosmith covered it. I don't know who the original.
Really?
Yeah.
The guys who went to hotels and said Mr. and Mrs. Aerosmith. I think it's ridiculous,
I
really.
feel like a toddler in this room right now.
The references are going,
No,
Brezhnev, ring a bell? No. Chernobyl? Nothing? Oh, God. Beirut?
Brexit,
In the
Brexit.
60s?
Hey, I know.
Brexit?
Yeah.
You're going
Brexit.
from like city to nuclear disaster. So there's no context
by
to
now,
your reference
Amit, you should
asking
know I'm a bully. And I just want to bury her. I'm just kidding. Aishwarya, this is your turf. You say what you want to, as you already have. No more fucks. All right?
Fuck.
All right, let's go to the first topic. So March 30th was supposed to be the deadline for the Brexit.
Right.
It has come and gone, and
We're looking at a plebiscite again.
not much has changed. So the Prime Minister has asked for another extension. This time, not a long extension. She's asked for like
June.
April, right?
Is it April or June?
I think it's June.
Or June. So yeah, that's where it stands right now.
I'm sorry. I'm drinking my lassi. I'm in trouble, because there's a lady in the room. I'm trying not to make a mess. But now it's all done.
You've got a nice
I've got the white
lassi
mustache. Yeah. Cheers. To Theresa May. May her tribe increase. Yeah. We all said this right in the beginning, us pundits. It was a terrible decision. I still think it's a terrible decision. And I don't know what's going to
But
happen.
at what
Britain
point
is
does Europe
strong.
say screw off now?
They've already said screw off.
Yeah.
They've already,
what is
you want to be
the-
imperialist, you want to do your own thing, do your own thing.
What's
Dance
to
on
be
your own.
decided now at this point?
Well, the problem is that internally the two parties, Corbyn's party essentially, is putting up a stiff resistance, and in her own party she's got enough people who are against her.
Right.
So they're sort of imploding.
No, there's the Ireland issue, right? I think that's the...
There's the
biggest
they tie up
tough
all the issues to it,
Yeah.
but Brexit now is going to be, it's the make or break of an entire party, it looks like. And, Yeah, so I think they go back to another plebiscite.
I think we clearly all have a lot of depth around this.
Yeah, we thought it through. But I think a second plebiscite is due. And this time the numbers will favor staying in the European Union. But the European Union will say we're not interested.
Yeah,
you can't keep doing your own thing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like India, the BCCI versus the ICC. We just do our own thing and we send the notice to them. And they're like, hello, we're the parent body. Hello, you can't decide whether you play Pakistan. We have to decide. Yeah.
There's something interesting related to this I came across. So there were a bunch of eco-activists who... Oh, if you're umming now, you will like the next part.
Yeah.
Tell me.
They actually did a naked protest. They stormed into the House of Commons and stood in front of the members of the House.
Yeah, now this is not necessarily titillating. I have seen people doing naked protests, and it's not the kind of bodies that you're used to seeing on the erotic channels that Aishwarya and I are forced to watch to research for our comedy. And I got to tell you off the record, man, when people don't look good naked, sex is the last thing you think of. Am I right, Amit?
And they had stuff written across their bodies.
Yes.
Like elephant in the...
Read my left tit. I mean, who does that? It said, read my lips, read my tits. Can we say that? We can't say that.
I guess we can. You just did.
Read my male tits, just for safety. Read my male tits, yeah.
See, the word is the problem.
Oh.
Not male or female.
Since you're going to beep it, why can't you just say it and say it?
Saving my time for myself.
So you don't have to press one more button. Okay.
Yeah.
Anybody wants to comment? Aishwarya, you please talk about it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in a naked protest, or have you seen a naked protest, or have you stopped a naked protest?
I have been in none of them. Touch wood, I don't...
Will you get your
pun
parents to react to
unintended.
naked protests in your next instance?
Oh, I don't mind that at all. The thing is,
I don't want them to protest. I
no.
want them to react to it.
I watch Sex Education. I made my dad watch Sex Education. It's
Okay,
a show
what is
on
that?
Netflix,
Okay.
which starts
It's
with...
not an Indian show.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not an... I'm very surprised.
Because otherwise we won't be 1.2 billion, right? If
Yeah,
we had
exactly.
sex education.
Nice. So yeah, I made my parents watch it. Like, just start the scene. And
But you've already been born, so your dad must say, "Ayo, why?"
Yeah, so I just like covered my dad's eyes
Okay.
while that was
was
happening.
very
Papa,
funny.
you're not allowed to watch this. How can you watch this? Is this your age? Just this crap that he told me when I was 6, 7.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't think my
You
parents...
sound like a horrible child. Horrible. I mean, what have your parents done? You make them watch sex videos and sex education videos.
Yeah,
and then you
so-
cover your dad's eyes and you decide what he has to think. What kind of fashions did you turn out to be?
I am just...
Bully.
No, this is how my parents have raised me.
They've not raised you. You're raising them. Clearly. That's what's going on. I think
yeah,
something that's right with the country finally.
I saw this thing. I saw the video also. So there's like this glass panel, and they're standing in front of that, and the whole MPs, everyone are sitting behind that, and they're just naked with stuff written across their chest.
The British, I tell
They
you.
have a long tradition of streaking, right? So I mean, like, this is that only.
How did they rule India? With all the kind of things they do on the side, you know. Let's go to Chennai for 2 days. Next thing you know, the entire regiment is like naked.
I don't know, man. I what do you guys think of the idea itself, right? A naked protest. Do you think
I like the idea, but I'm
do you
always
think it
worried.
works,
I
though? I mean, like,
don't.
yeah.
Well, it draws attention. So in that sense, it works.
No,
We're
but I
talking
mean,
about
is
it.
that what you
no,
want?
if you want publicity, it scores 100. Because we all, here in a silly
Right.
podcast across the world, we're discussing this. With so many other things
But
happening.
aren't you pissing a lot of people off, like, to the point
Like,
where...
yeah.
you just
Only
kinda-
clothes manufacturers, I would think.
No, but I mean,
No,
like, even
even
I
the
kind of...
cause.
Yeah, so exactly. I just look at this and I'm like, guys, I mean, like, you know, if you have a serious point to make a serious point. If you
Correct.
don't, then, I mean, like, you guys are a bunch of idiots.
Like, they're talking about climate and climate change, and
Which
please
is-
concentrate on that instead of Brexit.
So John Lennon and Yoko Ono's naked sit-in, why bother, right? Not your thing.
But-
40,000 years ago, she's looking at me like, John Lennon,
no, I
Yoko
knew
Ono.
this. I knew this.
Well, it wasn't a sit-in, right? It was a bed-in.
Naked bed-in. Naked.
Yeah.
They just sat
You could
on
walk,
their bed.
and you could
Yeah.
walk by while they were naked and doing
They
things.
were not naked.
No, they
were
were in their
covered.
own...
They would come out of the cover, go back in the cover.
Okay,
This was
all
a
right.
Greenwich Village kind of
But
thing.
did he do it to like protest the war?
He did it to protest the world.
The world and the
Protest the
aggression.
world.
Well, Vietnam
Yeah,
War
John
was
Lennon.
the...
But
was
this
the-
was in their bedroom, right?
No,
it
this
was
is
on
like
the-
on
it was
the
on-
It was on the-
Yeah,
in
it
a
was
shop.
it was on the street.
I thought
on
he
the street.
just didn't come out of his room or
No,
something.
he didn't want to pay New York rent, which are terrible, I understand. But it's a great idea.
Dude, he lived in the Dakota. He was not hurting for rent.
Believe me.
That was a building.
My God.
If it's a famous person taking off their clothes, I think it's slightly different than just
Why?
normal people.
That's like favoritism, racism.
Because this is a known...
Celebrityism. I don't know. Give me a word. Wait, label king. Bolo, sir. Bolo.
Favor racism.
We got a new word.
Yeah. It's like when there are so many times when a model becomes pregnant, they'll always do like a pregnant nude photo.
Milind Soman's pregnant?
No, not Milind Soman.
That's your model.
Milind Soman is half naked as it is.
All the time. And running around Shivaji Park.
But they do this body shaming to avoid body shaming. They often do these nude photo shoots when they're pregnant. So in those cases...
but they're not putting across a point, right? Like even body...
Love your body. Even I was a supermodel till 8 months ago.
But
Now I am...
It's still about your own body that you're talking about, right?
Sorry?
Like love your own body. It's still something personal that you're talking. You're not talking about climate. Like it's not two unrelated things. This is my body, and I'm showing you my body, and I'm
what
still
she's saying is
about
that
my
the
body.
punishment fits the crime because body and body. It's all about body, so it makes sense. I'll explain to Uncle.
What about nude beaches? Like
that's cool. That's fun.
To each your own. Right?
All female dogs are nude beaches.
Okay.
I've lost the listenership. I've lost my colleagues around the table. All I have is my dogs and my beaches. Your sons of beaches. Let's move on.
Okay, let's come to India now.
You had enough of your naked protest? You will promise me, swear you will never take your clothes off and protest anything again.
I will never. I am one of those on Arrested Development. Tobias Funke was a non-nude.
Yeah.
Used to take shower also with
nice
shorts
character.
on. I'm that guy.
Oh, you're that guy. So I'm the opposite. I can drop my clothes
TMI,
anywhere, anytime.
I didn't come on this podcast to know how Abbas is taking a bath.
Wait, and there's me. I like taking my clothes off everywhere.
God.
It's great fun in India when you take your clothes off and people all wonder what's going on, especially when you're changing in front of other people.
All right.
Take your shirts off, take your pants off, and everybody's like, oh, awkward. But in Australia, believe me, it's normal. But then I'm not in Australia.
Yeah, you're not.
Oh, okay.
As a Deshbhakt, carry on.
As a Deshbhakt, so Prime Minister Modi gave a speech in...
Well segued, by the way. Was that thought out or that was just perfect?
Wasn't thought out at all.
Welcome to Namo TV, you were saying.
Yeah, he gave a speech in Maharashtra where essentially he re-invoked the Hindutva card.
But you know how we know it's him? Because he always starts with, Mitro!
No, Mitro is old-fashioned. Now it's Bhai aur Behno again.
Bhayo, Behno aur Mitro. Friends, Romans. He can't say Romans because of Sonia. She's sort of Roman.
So, there were a recent spate of acquittals in the Samjhauta case blasts, where it was alleged that Hindu terrorists carried out the blast. Now they are free.
They weren't convicted, huh?
So the BJP...
unconvicted, right.
Yeah, BJP had been saying that the whole idea of Hindu terror...
Fake Hindu terror is the phrase they used.
So up till now, it was something that was said by Arun Jaitley and Ravi Shankar Prasad, but this was the first time that Modi in this
used the same
rally
phrase.
Said that they maligned Hindus by using Hindu terror. No Hindu has ever carried out any terrorist attack, and he took a dig at Rahul Gandhi that he's now contesting a second seat, which has less number of Hindus or non-Hindu majority, which is factually
from a
wrong.
minority region rather than a majority.
Which is factually wrong.
And unnecessary, really.
Yeah. So essentially, the criticism again is like Vikas, and now since the elections are near,
It'd make a very bad Manmohan Desai film. Huh? You got to have all three names. You got to have Vikas. You got to include everyone. Go on, Aishwarya. You were saying something.
No, I was just I was adding to the point of Wayanad. And Wayanad is the place that he's contesting. Yeah, I'm from Kerala, so I read that. I was like, I know this place.
He's Wayanad, and the Prime Minister is asking why. That was the... Okay, go on. Just ignore me and go on.
Got it.
Okay. So one second. To understand, so is it a minority-dominated area? Or minorities-dominated area? Because I know there are three prevailing religions.
Yeah, I mean... Not really.
So the non-Hindu vote will be more than the Hindu vote? The Christian and Muslim vote, together?
Yeah.
Or vaguely? But why bring that up? It's just like more divisive sort of philosophies than we need in this country.
It's a moronic argument.
Oh, really?
It really is. It makes absolutely no sense. Why does
But do you think Rahul Gandhi can lose Amethi to Smriti Irani? I mean, that's like a fiefdom. That's
unlikely. Honestly, very unlikely.
So why does he have to go and do the Wayanad thing? What's the rationale?
I don't know.
To play devil's advocate.
I have absolutely no idea.
To tickle your chin.
I really don't understand
To
why
hold your
these
beard.
guys do. This whole thing is none of it makes sense, right? It doesn't feel like there is.
No, so many times big leaders have gone for 2 and 3 seats just to show how powerful they are. Then they drop
but
one.
then what do you do if you
win both?
What if you win both, right? If
you
you're
have to drop
winning
one.
both,
You have to drop one.
and then you have to what? Now, who takes
this is
these-
more like
who takes
the way I
seat
see it.
then?
No, you're doing it more like to psych out the opposition, saying, I'm going to take whatever I want because I'm that big.
But then who wins? Who takes the seat after let's say Rahul
Correct.
Gandhi wins in both of them? Who takes the seat?
Maybe they
then?
think they have an alliance partner who will then.
So do you have to fight an
Yeah,
election
then
again?
exactly.
Or
By-election,
do you just
maybe, I
appoint
don't know.
somebody? And if you're just appointing somebody, why doesn't Modi stand in all 500?
Why can't we get someone who can answer these questions? Because we keep asking questions, but nobody can answer them. It's like we might as well just,
But didn't Modi fight from Gujarat and Varanasi in 2014?
Of course.
So then Gujarat went to...
But then both are majority Hindu districts, no? So he does not have the
Okay,
same
also
argument.
Gujarat is a state and Varanasi is a city. So we should be a
in
little
the
more
sense,
specific.
Gujarat mein kahan se he somewhere.
Didn't he fight on 2 seats in 2014?
Well, I know he fought from Varanasi, and the idea of fighting from UP is also like to psych out the
Sure,
opposition. Like, I'll come to this territory.
Correct.
Yeah.
And this is before they won in UP also. The presence was much less. And he won in a canter. So, so I think maybe he's trying to do the same thing. Or they just want more. Congress wants to make sure their position in Kerala is a little stronger. Good old Shashi Tharoor speaks in this language that even the Malayalis can't understand after some time because, the smallest word he's ever used is what abritification or something like that. And, how's his Malayalam?
His Malayalam, I've never heard
Is
him
he
speak
like
Malayalam.
a rich
but he
kid
is-
who's antiquated way of speaking the mother
he
tongue?
was born in London, raised in
So
different
clearly,
parts.
does he not have that ethnicity thing going for him? Sometimes it's difficult to. You're clearly like the rich
Correct.
prince who's struggling with the local lingo
And
because
even
he's so
when he
British.
talks, even that whole cattle class thing that...
But that's all tongue in cheek, yeah.
But that's what happened, right?
backfires.
Exactly,
Yeah.
it backfires because...
But he's trying to be
people are-
funny. It's not like he just
Of
sent that
course,
word.
Of course, he was trying to
But
be funny.
but we
people don't-
appreciate it because we sort of understand that style of
Exactly.
humor and all that. But
Exactly.
you're looking at when you're voting in a certain area, you want to find that side of your personality. Does he have that?
Exactly.
Does he have that son of the soil thing to him? Like many politicians can switch. Like I remember Rajesh Patil was fantastic.
No,
he could
but
go
that's
from
the thing, now, when he
sophisticated to
goes-
rustic in a second.
When
Yeah.
he goes to... when he gave that whole British reparations speech, that's
That was
pretty much...
superb.
Exactly.
But that's what he does best. But
Yeah, so that's what he's
But
living...
when he
But
goes,
I think-
when he has to go into, when he goes deep into Kerala and he has to talk in Malayalam and connect with people about normal local issues, can he do that? Because he's like this rich. I love him.
He's
I would
one
vote
of
for
the-
him.
he's one of
I
the
can
few-
identify with him. I think he's great the way his
He's one of the
oratory
few
skills.
congressmen who's actually winning elections, so he must be doing something, right? He must still be connected. And I think down south, this idea of a person being polished, I think it's appreciated more than up north.
Let's
That
ask-
I would kind of agree with.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Up north they can't tell, is it?
Up north, it's more the more you
Like,
connect with the
heartland.
You have to show you're the same farmer suffering the same drought. Otherwise, don't believe it. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
in the south, I think they're very... he's speaking something that I don't
Yeah,
understand. I
right.
think he might be right.
He might be great, actually.
I am why am I?
Listen, you're the only authentic commentator we have. Not pretend to be authentic at least. Pretend to know something. Because we have no one. Like I said, we have questions with no answers. Somebody has to answer.
And you got a stand-up comedian to answer these questions.
We can do worse. Trust me. All right? Look around the country anytime you feel bad about yourself. We'll take a break, then we'll come back.
Filter coffee is a fascinating beverage. You need to pick the right beans, blend them in the right proportion, roast them to perfection, and slow brew at the right temperature to get the perfect cup. Which is exactly like great conversations as well. You need to track down the most interesting minds, get them into their zone, and settle down for an unhurried, unscripted chat. And coffee for me is always, always, always best enjoyed with friends. I'm Karthik Nagarajan, and do share my table as I meet some of the most interesting people I know and sit them down for a strong cup of coffee and an even stronger conversation. Join me every Wednesday for a freshly brewed episode. This is not frappe. This is the Filter Coffee Podcast.
Oh, that was...
Yeah,
oh,
that was
okay.
it.
Sorry. We're back here on Cock and Bull, and I just got a call from Shashi Tharoor's office.
Yeah.
They want her name, they want her village, they want to know what ancestral property is where. Because defamation, for sure.
We've
How
actually-
dare you say he can't speak Malayalam properly? He can speak flawless Malayalam.
I'm
uncle.
sure. I'm born
But-
and raised in
but-
Mumbai. My Malayalam is shit.
But with a London accent. So,
Oh, I might have an American accent while speaking Malayalam.
can you tell me Abbas is a really sexy man in Malayalam?
Abbas or a sexy man, Anna.
I could have winged this myself, honestly. Yeah.
I've actually spoken to Shashi Tharoor on the phone in this very room on an episode of The Seen and the Unseen.
Yeah.
Hey, good job.
Yeah.
How is that?
Well, I've done events with it. I've done 3 events with
it was really weird because we managed a call at a particular time and he was a little late, so he was on Face Show, so we were looking at him on Face Show live because as soon as he goes off from there, he would call us.
Okay.
So yeah, that's how it happened. That is exactly what happened.
He charges more for on Face Show live because he's got lovely hair. So he does charge more for that, from what I gather.
That he does, yes.
How dare you say that?
Oh, he has gorgeous hair.
Wow!
It doesn't
sound right. Don't say that.
Hey, Abbas would know. Okay, I think he's just...
Aishwarya, stop him.
As a sexy man
oh God.
in Malayalam.
No more. No mas. He doesn't speak, is it? You just see his hair and you're gone.
Yeah. Like, yes,
But
I would vote for this hair.
But he does have super hair.
He does.
I mean, these are the issues that people aren't looking at. Please look at the
I
hair.
always thought it was a wig or something.
Whose hair? No. It's lovely. I've touched it. I've touched it. He gave me a hug once at an event, and I put my hand and just vaguely touched the back of his hair. Whose hair do you like? Who's the best hair politicians with the best hair?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Let's put it out there, and please let people write in.
People can send
and give us reasons. We want reasons. You can't just say, I like his hair. It's got to be more than that.
Again, people should respond on social
males,
media.
Right?
They should send us a message on social media.
Even women, who has good hair? Smriti Irani has...
Hema Malini has good hair.
Hema Malini...
No, don't think of your picture you saw 25 years ago. Just think about contemporary. No, but she does. She's aged well, apparently.
No, that face filled with Botox.
Okay.
Why am I saying
Okay,
that?
so now we are banned in Kerala, soon to be banned in Mumbai and Chennai. You better just stop here, all right?
Yeah.
Anybody else you don't like, tell me now so we don't mention them.
Okay, so the Congress party released its official manifesto last week. It has actually been praised by a lot of political scientists. It said that it's very well put together. It talks about jobs. It talks about education. It's also LGBTQ friendly, which is something that has not happened in manifestos till now, political manifestos at least.
And you don't have to show your Aadhaar card when you read it, which is one good thing. You can just pick
they
it up.
have some Aadhaar reforms as well in there.
Yeah. And they have some GST reforms as well. But
so their version of the Aadhaar is Anadhaar. This is the lowest form of humor we can come up with right now. If you want to leave the room, please do, Aishwarya. And then come back after 5 minutes.
No, I did the whole
research
beaches thing.
Yeah.
I went through that, so I guess I'm okay with it now.
What you've done to Shashi Tharoor's hair, I will never forgive you.
Some have said that it's a utopian sort of idea that it's too good to be true.
Yeah.
And I saw this tweet once where it was like, this is Congress's manifesto. It has all these things. BJP's manifesto is just Modi's poster. That's all.
It's not completely off the mark.
No, it isn't. It's not. But the thing is, it's an interesting manifesto. It makes a lot of sense from a lot of different perspectives. There are some really good things in there. But it just feels like any of it ever
Can I segue from the manifestos? I was in Delhi last week trying to shoot politicians. Okay, let me rephrase that. Put them in front of cameras. Put them in front of cameras and talk to them. We met Raghav Chadda, who's from South Delhi, from AAP. Standing and probably will win South Delhi. I was just thinking, I entered that office, and I have to say this because, we say Congress, BJP, and the other parties. But when I was in that office for a little while, there were young urban kids, Delhi kids there, from the age of 20 to 30. And even the senior guys who were there, they're all kind of people you can relate to. And I must tell you, I think AAP really missed a beat. All of us sitting in this room and most of the people listening to this podcast will all identify with these guys.
But why do you say they missed a beat?
Because, so Congress has got this stereotype politician that they have and the stereotype people that they have. BJP, though, we're all scared of the right-wingness and all that's happening with that part of the world. But I just felt that a lot of middle-class India would have said, hey, wait a minute, these guys I can identify with. I'm comfortable with these guys. They were normal, they were well-educated, they took the jokes and jibes that I threw them
Delhi,
sportingly.
Right?
They're doing a lot of work for Delhi from schools upwards, which is always a great starting point. His wings are clipped, so it's difficult, but he does what he can. But the people in that place were fantastic. I'm just looking around at the room and thinking, I could have put all of you guys there with Delhi accents, it would be the same group. The same group. So what I'm trying to say is, I think there was a party that would have united middle-class India, and somehow they missed that chance. Because I really felt a sense of, wait a minute, I feel really comfortable here. You know what I'm saying?
I can understand what you're saying to an extent, but then that is more, you're basically playing identity politics again.
But what do you think about the rest of the people? I can't identify with anybody anymore. One says no cow, one says cow. I got to be more than that.
Isn't the idea to move beyond identity politics into policy politics?
I just felt that I'm being represented by people who look, talk, and think like me a little bit more.
But exactly, that's what even the others feel when they are with the BJP.
I waited 46 and a half years for this moment.
To find your identity.
Yeah, otherwise, you're saying, okay, usko de do. But I'm just thinking, and I'm saying this for all of you, I'm taking the liberty of doing this, or including Rahul, our engineer. I'm saying I put all of you guys in that room, and I could change it with those guys there, and I would feel that this is the sameness about...
I have serious policy disagreements with AAP. I do. I just think
we'll come to that later. I'm just talking, just a look, like an avatar.
So here's the thing. AAP is a party which has interesting ideas and is willing to put interesting ideas into play. Congress is a party that, based on this manifesto, has come out with pretty much exactly what I would have expected, what I would have wanted if I were to create a manifesto from scratch, right? A great degree of social security and kind of this, but at the same time, very free market.
The Nyaya scheme?
Nyaya scheme, the Nyaya
72,000?
But the Nyaya scheme with the idea of also making sure that you're opening up business, you're divesting from businesses to generate money, all things which I would agree with, right? But I don't see any of this coming through.
That's what I'm saying. Look at how 1.2 billion people, how do you account for all this? I'm scared.
Well, no, that's why Nyaya makes sense, right? Because you're...
Give AAP a chance, I'm saying, not in this election, but the next one. Let's see if they can reform a little bit. But I do feel that people like Aishwarya will be the future for us then. Imagine a stand-up comedian from South Delhi who's, what the hell, yeah? Hello, we've tried farmers. We've tried politicians from the legacy of politicians. We've tried business families. We've tried mafia. We've tried gangsters. We've tried builders. I want a comedian.
We need...
There is actually
but you need someone who actually... I would make jokes.
It's okay.
No.
I'm okay.
There was a guy...
Are you killing anyone? No. Are you causing riots? No.
That can't be.
Are you disenfranchising communities? No. Are you causing me to discuss animals all day? No.
I know this from a comic, okay? There was a guy associated with the Aam Aadmi Party who, during the time of the elections, actually came down to Bombay. He would scout open mics to see who are the comedians who have a distinctive voice and then actually go and approach them after the show of whether they want to do something with the Aam Aadmi Party.
Yes, Kunal Kamra was the treasurer of the AAP party until last Wednesday. Now he's back with the Congress manifesto forward.
And they had that guy, the poet, Kumar Vishwas? Yeah.
Kumar Vishwas.
He's
Well,
kind of
I'm kind of you call him a poet, but yes, that is part of what he does.
Hasya Kavi.
I've read his works, his complete works. I have Vishwas on Kumar, I can tell you that. But I'm just saying, again, I'm going to just point this out. I'm not saying vote for AAP. I'm just saying that there's certain identification politics, label me again, stamp me, put me in the factory. But I'm just saying that it's nice for a minute to look and say, wait a minute, actually there's some people I know. This is like us, our people.
But us as a people are very less in India.
No, see, because our class of society is actually not defined by religion, race, this, that, and the other. We're defined by a certain subcultural thing which we are.
Because we're born in privilege, right?
Thank God for that.
Yeah, I'm not...
मेरे को गरीबी बात बहुत पसंद नहीं है. I don't like all this.
Ooh, this podcast is quite radical, I must say.
For us, garibi hatao meant move the beggar away from the car. We didn't understand the whole slogan. Right, Amit? In the 80s, when they said garibi hatao, move the beggar away. यहाँ पे नहीं, यहाँ पे. My father would use choice Gujarati bad words like andus and all, which you don't hear anymore.
The flood of emails that will come.
Yes, I know.
Anyway. So let's move on to the last two topics for today. So Vineet Agarwal, BJP leader, his speech went viral.
You think of Cicero, you think of...
play this.
Yeah, go ahead.
कमल आपको सोचना होगा कि कमल चाहिए या क्या चाहिए कमल 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 इतना
Okay, wow. When you were in school and you had to do the Marathi paper and you didn't want to study and didn't study anything, you just rewrite the whole paper or write the same word again and again. I think he was a lazy guy. Speech नहीं करने का. So suddenly put him in front of 40,000 people, now make a speech, and he couldn't think of anything. He said, Lotus, that's a good idea. Kamal, that's it. Or everybody in that area has the same name, in which case he's just saying hello. Kamal. But
you think this was impromptu or was it written in his speech? Kamal into 27. So it's like just keep
the joke's on us. When we are going to go out there and give our vote to a man like Vineet Kumar, who stands there in front of people who are educated or some of them them are educated. Whatever, educated or not, they're human beings trying to live. And all he can come up with is this Kamal screaming and ranting. And I mean, after some...
Like the people around
aren't you
him
insecure
were
as a
also
comedian?
No.
I think they're funnier than us.
Of course they're
funnier.
Funnier than us.
You spend years trying to come up with a gig like this. It's hilarious. What a guy.
Yeah, like the people around him, his own party workers were laughing like, what the fuck is happening?
No, I think they wanted to hyphen his name from Vineet Kumar to Vineet Kumar because you stop him. Somebody stop him. Because it sounded, oh God. Last word, Aishwarya, you tell us. What do you feel about Kamal? Were you inspired?
Yeah, the Kamal thing, and then he goes, I don't think he was the one contesting from that place. He was actually...
Yeah, he was endorsing someone
else. And he goes like...
That guy's lost.
Yeah. And I just, exactly. I was like, I feel so bad for him right now. Because there's this chomo who's endorsing you, who can't say 2 words more
so
than
his
like
parents
Kamal.
will ask that MP to be what went wrong, and he'll just play the baja. Kamal.
There's nothing. And he's like, Modi ji Ram hai, or Yogi ji Lakshman hai. And I'm like, that does not make sense.
I don't know if they like that because Yogi ji is climbing as fast as he can. Yeah.
Exactly. I was just like, I don't think Yogi is going to like this.
I don't think he'll lose now because now he's gone viral. Now people know him for this, so they'll vote for him.
But again, we know him. People who must be actually voting for him, they don't give a
Abbas,
they don't know what viral
in our world, the world I mentioned a few months ago.
People from that area will be like, कि हमारे यहाँ कुछ हुआ जो दूसरे लोग देख रहे हैं because of
so
that.
So he's an instant celebrity is what you're saying, and for the next couple of days they'll remain so.
Yeah.
Until a Congress guy comes up with heart. Reply from a manifesto, page 7. Yeah.
Okay, last topic for the day. Batman turned 80 years old. The fictional character Batman.
38. No? Superman was 38.
No, Superman was 37. Batman was 40. 1940.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
No, this is fantastic.
Your favorite iterations of Batman through the years?
That's an interesting question.
Well, I really like Batman, the comic strips growing up more than the movies. I find the movies to be far darker than the comics ever appeared to be. Or maybe I didn't understand the comics then. They should get darker and darker and then I get scared. When Batman's in the middle of a tunnel somewhere and then there's a little sound and then you just see like a wing and it's like a horror film. And why did they do that? By the way, Chokidar is a horror film. I've just seen it.
Is it really?
Yeah, starring Vinod Khanna and Sanjeev Kumar.
I thought you don't consume Hindi content.
No, the old Hindi films I allow myself to watch. I also like old Hindi songs. I can't be such a racist. No? Even racists they like the NBA football, basketball or whatever. Even a racist must be having that moment, right? Am I right?
It happened. So,
like Hitler was, Jesse Owen. Maybe, I don't know.
Interesting. I don't know either Michael Keaton's first or Christian Bale's first. I mean, like,
your question was that? Which was the
what
about Adam? What's his name who died? Adam West.
That was
he couldn't fit in the suit after the first 2 seasons.
So all the stuff that you don't like, I do like. I like the intensity. I like the fact that it is kind of it is kind of a little dark.
I like dark, but it's too dark. My point is too.
So now the question is, which one? So the first Batman Begins was not particularly
not
dark.
Batman 2, too dark. Sorry, keep going.
But Christopher Nolan's first Batman Begins was not particularly dark, right? It got darker with the Dark Knight.
Yeah, Dark Knight.
That was Tim Burton's Batman.
That was Tim Burton.
Give me the name of the actor, then I can remember.
Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton with the first movie was Jack Nicholson.
Val Kilmer was more, and then this guy's a nut.
The Val Kilmer movie and George Clooney movies were not really. I did not enjoy either of those.
Val Kilmer was a little dark.
Yeah.
Then?
No, but I didn't enjoy either of those two.
Or maybe that was Dawes, the Morrison story.
That was
like Batman. What's the difference?
That was a good movie. Yeah. I don't know. It's a toss-up, man. I mean, like, I honestly don't know. Batman Begins or Batman... What is the first Batman called? Was it called Batman only?
The 1989?
Yeah.
It was just Batman.
Batman, yeah. So Batman or Batman Begins?
Not the Dark Knight?
No, I think...
On an unrelated note, sorry to interrupt, there's also Buttman if you watch Lobster Tube. Not so dark. Not so dark. But back to you.
Okay. I liked The Dark Knight. I thought it was a good movie. I thought it was a fun movie to watch, but I didn't worry about the darkness over there either.
But what about Robin? Don't you feel bad for Robin? Robin's like they had reservation for superheroes. So through reservation, Robin gets to be a superhero. And all the other superheroes like, you're not really a superhero. You're not good enough. Power kuch nahi hai. Parents have influence. Reservation. Pride.
There's a really interesting show with Robin on it on Netflix right now. The name
not Indian.
It's not Indian. Yeah. Name is escaping me, but
Titans.
Really Titans. Yeah. Hyper violent, quite cool.
Indians would call it Titans.
If you think Batman is dark, you should watch this.
Robin.
Yeah. Well, Titans.
You know what happened to Batman and Robin when they got run over by a steamroller?
I am dreading this, but what
happened?
They became Flatman and Ribbon.
Not bad. Aishwarya, you have any favorite iterations of Batman?
I've just watched
She's like, I can't
Batman Begins, Dark Knight, and Dark Knight Rises.
Okay.
I have not. But I what do you guys think about Gotham?
Good point. Again, but there's no darkness in Gotham as well.
I mean, I was just, how do you figure Gotham?
But I didn't watch a lot of it, so I can't deny that. But again, I'm talking about comfort level. Like, it draws you in. But as a young boy, I used to enjoy Batman. It's a little more colourful. That's why I think I like Spider-Man the most, because he's cocky and cheeky. There's darkness, there's sadness, but he's always...
Spider-Man is a lighter show, right? It's a lighter character.
The characters, there's just more...
It's a 16-year-old, 17-year-old.
Exactly.
So
with Batman,
but he has a shit life, but he's always happy, and that's the truth. If you can be happy with a shit life, because that's the reality of life. Ask Kamal, Vinny Kumar.
A teenage superhero is always going to be somewhat more fun than somebody who is probably in his 30s, who has been beaten up, has done all this ninja training, has got all this...
who lost his parents to a so-called mugging, which then turns out to be done by the Russians or the Germans or the French. Or maybe the opposition.
All superheroes are mostly orphans, right? Spider-Man's an orphan, Superman's an orphan. They're all brought up by adopted parents.
True. Why is that? Because no parents want to see their kids wearing a chuddy outside, is
Joseph Conrad, archetype.
Joseph Conrad. This man and his labels and his reference to context. He's lost Aishwarya. She's shot herself in the foot. But you can see her on her Instagram, which is...
Aishwarya MRG. I'm doing my first 1-hour trial on Monday at Leaping Windows.
Is that swimming? 1 hour trial.
Guys, please don't listen.
What is 1 hour trial?
Please stop listening.
Is it like
to
for
this
a
man.
quote?
I'm doing my first 1-hour trial, which
1 hour
for
show?
my stand-up comedy. 1 hour show. Yes.
Where is it?
It's at Leaping Windows at Andheri.
Okay, done.
If you guys
what
are
time?
around 8:30.
Okay, 8:30. Yes. Is it on Saturday?
Monday,
I could come.
Andheri, you'll go to Andheri.
Too dark. Too dark. It's like Batman's cave. I'm going to Chakala now, though, but just off the highway. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, we'll leave you with our rendition of Vineet Kumar as a mark of respect and tribute to him. Kamal. Come on, my Hindu friends, join us. Come on. And also, we'll be back with the AMAs.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another awesome week on the IVM Podcast Network. If you're not following us on social media, please make sure that you do. We're IVM Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Please do. With the upcoming election season just around the corner, in case you really wanted a deep dive into some of the issues that matter, you should check out some of the shows on our network. Shows like Ganatantra, The Seen and the Unseen, The Pragati Podcast, Pulyabazi, and even How to Citizen look into some of the issues that really do matter. On The Seen and the Unseen, Amit Verma's guest is Milind Vaishnav, author and senior fellow at Carnegie. They talk about his book, When Crime Pays, and speculate about the upcoming Indian elections. On IVM Like, Abbas, Madhuri, Radhika, and Abhinit are in conversation about their pop culture consumption and unpopular stuff that they like. On the Sponge Podcast, Ambi Parmeshwaran talks about how an agency should build arguments and try harder to convey messages effectively. On Paperback, Satyajit and Rachita share bits of their interaction with Yuval Noah Harari and discuss his book 21 Lessons for the 21st Century. On episode 6 of Ganatantra, Alok and Saryu talk to postdoctoral research fellow Dr. Diego Mairano. They discuss the political and social implications of Indira Gandhi's last term in office. On the second episode of the second season of Echoes of India, Anirudh talks about the emergence of languages during the Mauryan Empire. And with that, let's continue with your show.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, Aishwarya Mohanraj just left the building. This is Aussie commentator Cyrus O'Donnell. And with me for the AMAs, was that a lousy interpretation of all things Australian? Amit Doshi, who actually has an American accent. Can you give us your full, absolute American accent, which is from South Dakota?
Well, no, it's from Delaware.
Which makes South Dakota sound like terrible. Okay.
No, I don't know that my accent... I need to talk to American people to get my accent out, right?
But did you have a real, genuine...
it is. I was born in the US, right?
When you were there, would you speak like an American?
I would.
If we just heard you like on a podcast and we're hearing you now, we wouldn't be able to tell that you're an Indian. Until you suddenly said Jai Ho or something.
Exactly, yeah. You know what
Or you said Kitna ka hai.
So I've grown up in both places. I grew up in India, I grew up in the US, right? So I think I do, it's called code switching, right? Depending on who I'm talking to, my accent comes out like that.
I like the way he puts these labels and we're supposed to catch up without Googling code switching if you don't know. F off. Yeah.
No, you basically talk to people the way they're comfortable with, right? Okay. So I mean, like if I'm talking
So if I have a very bad accent, how do you react to
my accent would go like that only. It would become even more like
yours. You're a code switcher. Yes. Abbas, are you a code switcher?
Code switcher.
You didn't follow?
No, I didn't.
The gospel according to Amit. Write it down, brother.
I was making eye contact with the engineer to make sure everybody's mics are in
After
place.
Article 377 has been pushed around, I guess we're free world. Okay.
No, but this accent thing reminds me. So there used to be a comedian called Bridge Bhakta, right? Who was a part of Shits and Giggles, and he also grew up in the US. So his accent would be American, but the thing is
Genuine
American accent. But because they know Indian names and they've been around,
that would switch.
Yeah. So whenever he would call a comedian on stage, if he's hosting, it's like, put your hands together, come on, start clapping for Shriram Padmanabhan. And I'm like, that switch.
Yeah.
It was really
the
great.
reverse Shoaib Akhtar. Lovely, lovely. But that's great. I think that's the global world. I actually feel happy around people like that because, they've got a touch of this and that about them, and so there's no label. Sorry to...
but I think
labels
that's-
are a problem,
I think they are.
Indian, Pakistani, German, black, white. You got to stop that.
Yeah. No, but I think that
Maybe
is...
after the government changes. Huh?
I have an accent which is completely weird, right? I mean, it is Indian in some places, it's very
your
American in some
accent for
places.
us is Americanish at the moment, but you've toned it down, right, Abbas? Would that be fair to say?
But it changes, right? I mean, it really does change. I mean, if I...
would you talk to a person who's Hindi speaking or Gujarati speaking or does not speak English,
right?
Would you switch your accent to downgrade this? Because it's tough on the ear to pick up the American.
It does.
So I'm going to do an experiment. Abbas, speak to him in chaste Hindi.
That is what
code
switching means.
Yeah, like you're a rickshaw driver in the north or something, okay? And action.
कहाँ जाइएगा?
मुझे घर लेके जाइए.
घर लेके चलिए.
He's still got the tinge of
it does.
But you toned it down a bit.
I can't.
If you have to say BCMC, how would you say it with your accent?
BCMC.
The Hindi galis that we use.
Benchot, mothershot.
Even his galis have got an American twang.
Do they really?
Lovely. I would feel respected.
Okay.
If you abuse me, I would feel a sense of respect. American ने मेरे को गाली दिया, प्यार से गाली दिया, मार दो उसे. It's nice. I like it. Have you heard the South Hall Indians when they're Gujarati speaking South Hall Indians, English speaking with slight Gujarati antecedents?
That's benchot, right?
No, so it's the drawl is because it's like so couch. The whole thing is slower. So even the galis become theory marky chair, but it's beautiful. It's like an alien language when you hear it for the first time. And when they speak in Gujarati or Punjabi, I promise you, if you pick up the language at all, you'll be terrified. It's just terrifying because the rhythm is different. It's just so different. What a wonderful thing, globalization.
Yes.
Where are we? Sorry.
We shall move to the questions. So Dinkar from Bangalore writes in.
Yeah. He's a regular, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, he is.
He writes in, asks rather, what's the white drink they are offering you at the IVM studio? On the Insta video, it looks like a cup of milk. Is it so?
Well, it's the cousin of milk. This country is all about country cousins all over. It's lassi. Lassi, technically, would you call it cousin of milk? I don't know.
It's
yeast, basically.
derivative, right? It's derivative.
Let's ask the Lucknowi. Boliye.
Chas?
Kaisa bana tha?
No, he drinks lassi.
Lassi.
He has a sweet lassi.
I have a sweet tooth. I'm not going to have chas.
Yeah, you can say it's a derivative of a close cousin of.
Back in the north, if you go from UP
It's a
upwards,
descendant.
from Rajasthan upwards.
Kind of, yes.
Yeah, I think more than a cousin is a descendant, right?
Oh,
Milk
God.
is the ancestor.
Right?
Milk makes dahi, dahi makes lassi.
And the cow is above everything.
Yes.
Where it's found. Rahul Gandhi, please note. And I'll just quickly say, if you work, I used to do a lot of shoots in the hot sun with TV18 in those days with no money, nothing has changed. And the thing is, when you see that whole large goblet somewhere, let's say in Jalandhar or something, you see this goblet of lassi with lots of malai on top. It's like a godsend. It is the most beautiful sight. It's an oasis in a desert when you're sweating, and it's really one of the few things that actually quenches your thirst. At least for me, I love drinking.
I've never
it.
been a lassi person.
No, when you're okay. So chas, so fine. That's a sweet versus kadwa thing. That's fine. It's just the essence is the same. But I'm saying to drink it when you're feeling thirsty and finished. It's sort of like a mini meal firstly, but you can't eat because you're so traumatized by the heat. And I love it.
So
I named my son lassi. He refused to accept it. And now he calls himself Mikhail.
The only time I've ever liked lassi is right behind your office, in the stock market lane.
Yeah.
There is a sandwich wala and there's a lassi guy next to him.
Oh, the one you're talking about? No, the one further next to the church, St. Thomas's Church, opposite him.
The South Indian restaurant is Dwarka, right?
Yeah.
So right on the corner across from Dwarka, there's a sandwich wala and there's a lassi guy.
Is there a lot of malai on top as well?
Yes, there is.
They make it like a thick lassi?
Yes.
No metaphor here, but thicker the better, I'm told.
Okay.
Yeah. So I've heard also.
So you heard.
The only
Arey
place
bhai,
I've
Lucknow se
ever-
aa gaya? You don't know all this? Sorry. You
No,
said.
that's the only place I've ever liked lassi. I
No,
mean,
there are. If you look around in Mumbai, there are, but it's far and few. But of course, once we cross
Actually, there's that
Rajasthan.
Gokul dairy also. No? They also do good
Yeah,
lassi.
there is. Don't give up,
yeah.
We're going to do a whole show on where to get good
Where
lassi.
to get
Please
good
write in
lassi.
and tell us.
Yeah, actually, that's a good kind
The
of
top 10 lassi
listener
points.
interaction. Write to
Top 10
us on
lassi-
what
yeah.
Cyrus says, on Cyrus Says in, or our Facebook page, or wherever you want to.
Yes.
And tell us where do we get the best lassi in Bombay.
And how much an Ola will cost to get there and back?
That is a
because
good
that's our
question.
readership.
That's
Your
a good
readership,
question.
you idiot.
Listenership, yes.
Okay, Vishnupriya Thirumale asks, before asking the question, he's like, thanks for inviting Aisha and Kunal on the Valentine's Day show. It was quite nice to hear the camaraderie among the trio. His question is, Cyrus and to Amit, what are the chances that Jack, a white American man, follows Pro Kabaddi League meticulously like Amit follows the NBA?
Oh, there is. There is a lot of interest in kabaddi. Firstly, most civilizations don't understand why grown men want to jump on each other for nothing.
No, but it's one
With
of
no
the...
ball involved. At least in rugby, there's a ball involved. You know, what the hell are you doing jumping on each other? But yeah, it is growing.
It's growing rapidly all
They have
over
foreigners
the
in the
world.
audience who are watching.
They had a Czechoslovakian dude playing, right, last year?
They have
Polish guy.
They have a couple of Europeans, but they have a lot of people from Iran, from North Africa. There are a couple of people. So it is definitely growing.
It's growing.
But,
And
but
also,
will this country allow people to come in?
I think
Because at the moment,
well,
there's the whole,
we'll have restrictions now. Only one player per team. And things
certain
like that.
countries will be debarred.
Yeah.
And, you know.
But I think it's growing all across the world because one is it's a sport which involves physical confrontation,
And
but
no
it's
money.
not violent.
Yeah.
It's not violent, but it can get out of
It
hand.
can, but it's not violent.
It's
in
more
the same
fun when
way-
it gets violent.
It's
I
not
really
violent
encourage
like
my
UFC,
players. I
right?
own a team, the Malabar Hill Monkeys. I make them fight all the time. And like if there's no team to play with, I say, Raju, you slap Rajesh. You know, they're just for fun.
But see, I enjoy this. I'll tell you why. Because I've something like the UFC makes me uncomfortable, right? I don't want to see that degree of blood. I don't want
But
to
they
see...
get paid well.
They
I'm
get
saying
paid well.
Let them get hurt.
But I mean, like, dude, that is Romans at the circus. And
I
like
did Khatro Ke
that, no?
Khiladi 2010. Okay, I did my own stunts, man.
Yes.
Yeah, I jumped from a helicopter into cold water.
But that's fine, no?
I mean, they pushed me finally because I said no.
But I really like the idea of a sport which involves some sort of physical confrontation, but which is not so violent that it makes you feel like UFC makes me step back. You know, I mean, like, I'm just like, man, what am I watching? I'm like watching like essentially gladiators, right? And that just does not feel comfortable to me. But this is something where there is like a physical confrontation, but at the same time,
And also, if you
bounds
can
the rules.
kick your foot onto somebody else's head, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
It's just uncivilized. You
It
should
is.
never raise your foot to somebody's head.
You should never.
So non-Indian.
Yeah.
We're always touching each other's feet for no reason. No, we just drop down and say, Uncle, Chacha. Okay, so, you know what I mean? I can't do it anymore because of the back and all
Okay.
that. Yeah.
I don't do it.
What do you, Abbas? You should never go down on... Okay, leave it. Let's move on.
Okay, Karan Mehrotra asks, hey Cyrus, how was it working with Big B in the Dairy Milk ad that you did years ago? Is he humble or does he have a superstar arrogance?
Were you in the same shot?
No, I did a Pepsi ad with him. Did I do Dairy Milk ad with him? I definitely did a Dabur something.
I remember the Dairy Milk ad, but I don't think you guys were in the same shots.
Yeah, maybe not. But I have done a Pepsi ad with him. I spent the 2 days with him, so I have shot with him.
Okay.
And yeah, he was great. We discussed cricket actually a lot in at that time. And we were stuck in a lift actually.
We should
Hai
try
koi
and get him
jawab.
on Lancer.
Pepsi ad. Hai koi jawab was the thing, yeah. Very good. I didn't muff my lines also, but my lines was just one line, but I managed. Yeah.
No, but we should try and get him on Lancer. I think that would be good.
I'll just make a call.
Yeah, please.
Just call Amitabh Bachchan, say it's Cyrus. Call again. Just keep calling. Don't stop calling.
Okay, last question. When he gets back, I'll let you know.
All right.
This one's from Suyash Shukla. Hi Cyrus, I am from Pune and I work in a software company owned by Godrej Group, and still we have strict no non-vegetarian food to be served in the canteen rule. Do you think it's fair?
In Godrej?
Yes.
Yeah, but it's not about Godrej. Godrej is the owner. You look at the sentiments of where you are, I think, in India, and then you go with that. So if you're in an area where most people are vegetarian or whatever, the land was whatever, owned by whoever, there are other reasons. You can't just say
India-
Parsi owned, so why is it veg?
No, but
There'll be a reason.
India's only 20% veg. I just read a study which came
Who's
out.
making up all these figures? Wherever I go, they
It
make me
just
veg.
came. It just came. Like
You think I get this thin on my own? It's only because I'm not given any non-veg food everywhere I go. It's ridiculous. Even Kunal, our good foodie friend, most people have non-veg in India. You don't know because you don't have Brahmin friends and all this. I think it's a little bit far-fetched. I think there's a lot of vegetarianism. It's
we
not.
are Balkeshwar people. We know a lot of Gujaratis. And we know a lot of Jain Gujaratis.
Amit, you're not
and that is
understanding. You see, you're talking about whether they eat non-veg. My point is that generally there is more veg fare being eaten. People can't afford non-veg.
Oh, yeah, that
they
is
eat
true.
both.
That's
so at the end of
true.
the day, I have Muslim friends I used to work with,
Yeah.
who from low economic backgrounds, but they weren't eating non-veg every
Yeah,
day.
that's
And I was
true.
stunned once I went to Kamal's house because we cut in the middle on the road and his house was near nearby, there was no non-veg food. There was just dal chawal. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that's not surprising. India has one of the lowest.
I remember my exact line, what a waste of a Muslim. What are you doing? And he was like, but boss, मैं क्या करूँ अभी हम लोग Sunday पे खाते हैं mutton. Sunday पे खाते हैं mutton. I can't wait 5 days. It's ridiculous. I tell you.
But to enforce it as a rule in a canteen.
See, is it a question of serving or is it a question of allowing?
No, the Godrej family is not, so they're not.
I get it, yes.
Right?
But
so obviously there's got to be rationale, which is the sentiments of other people being called into play. I don't know, I can't answer this because I'm not close to the family.
So here's the thing, right? This is the argument that I keep hearing from people, right? If you are a non-vegetarian, you are not bothered by vegetarian food. If you are a vegetarian, you're bothered by non-vegetarian food.
That's true. But the non-veg food does smell much more.
No, you're bothered, right? If as a vegetarian, you're seeing bones and you're saying
so we compromise.
Like
what you're saying is we have been very nice over the years and we've compromised all the time.
So, but this is the argument.
Compromise karega.
But
that's my campaign promise.
I think it's a flawed argument, I'll be honest. I think that I don't think that it's an
Are you going to use a word like codification or something?
No, I will.
Because I can Google the word before you start the thing.
I hope not, but who knows what comes out of this brain. But no, I think the argument is somewhat flawed because the truth is that, what you want to eat is part of your fundamental freedom, right? You should be able to eat what you want to eat. And
what if I want to eat your uncle, for example? I mean, can't draw the line somewhere.
Killing your uncle is a crime in and of itself, right?
So as long as there's not a crime being done.
Yeah.
For example, killing a cow is a crime, so you can't eat a cow. So that's fair then.
Exactly.
But killing a male chicken, also known as a cock, is not a crime, so you can kill.
You can. Yeah. So I think that's, the general thing is that, you should be allowed to do whatever you do as long as you're not infringing on somebody else's
rights. Can you eat
an
uneducated worm? Like vermicelli?
Okay.
Want to do one last one?
Sure.
I think he has to recover. Give him a minute, yeah?
So, this is regarding your show in Bangalore. Is it yet to happen? Or
yet to happen. Saturday.
Saturday date is the 6th of April.
6th
it is
Chaulia Hall.
Chaulia Hall. Tickets available on some other platform.
Okay. Bookmyshow.com.
Bookmyshow.com.
Bookmyshow.com. Please come and watch the show. Yes. And if you're not in Bangalore, fly down, yeah. Do something for us.
So
come on, LA to Bangalore is not that far.
This comes from Triply, who writes from Bangalore. Yeah. Hi, Cyrus. My wife and I are great fans of yours.
My God, he said my wife. I saw Triply. Hey guys, come on. That wasn't sounding that male. With due respect, yeah.
We were recently in Bombay and the only celebrity I was hoping to run into was you. Anyway, we're really thrilled that you are coming to perform in Bangalore with Kunal. We've booked tickets right in the front row because apparently the first row isn't for fans. Only influential people and probably family.
So I would suggest that you wear a bright pink yellow shirt, something like that, so that Cyrus can see you in the audience.
And then we can switch. I can rest for some time, talk to your wife, and you explain to me why you're called Triply.
But he has a question. I want to know, what is your feeling towards fans? Do you tolerate people asking you for a selfie, or is it something you just can't?
So this only happens when we do an event and people come after the event and whatever, generally. On the road and all this, occasionally one guy comes. But the worst part is if someone recognizes you in an airport, an area where you're alone, and then other people just feel that they need to come and do the same thing without knowing exactly who you are. So that's hilarious. Yeah. I love that because I can hear it, no? Especially sometimes in a vernacular language, so they're talking behind me. 1-2 people come, then third guy comes, and one is asking, but kaun hai? But you can figure out. Like he wants verification that it's worth his while. But please explain to me, who is this guy? He's descended from whom? Which famous family? Yeah. It's fun. Yeah. But at events, I've always maintained that, our life spans are very short. Mm-hmm. So if people are nice to you, you just take every picture with everyone. Right. And I do remember Jaunty Rhodes being a little gruff once when we were trying to take a picture. A couple of others like that growing up. The West Indians were superb. So I've always maintained, if whatever 50 minutes of fame you got, be nice to people when they... except like if you're making love or something and somebody comes to take a selfie. I mean, that's wrong.
Well, there's a sense of intrusiveness. I guess.
And I should not be making love in public anymore.
That's a step at which
I don't know why.
Maybe if you threw fans at Jaunty Rhodes, he'd be more forthcoming in catching.
No, I think what happened with him is they just let 100 people at him at the same time. This is the first year of the IPL or something.
You just totally disregarded my attempt at...
No, I heard your attempt and I accept your attempt, but when I used the word cock liberally, nobody reacted to that. I didn't make a big show and tell about it. I took it on the chin. The two senior comedians aren't interested in the juvenile. It's fine. Yeah. But, I don't think he's a bad guy or anything. I think he just reached a point because there's so many fans. Right. But Jayasuriya was also sitting with him, continued to give the autographs and he had the patience.
I think different people react differently. I read Aziz Ansari recently. What he does does is he doesn't let anybody take selfies with him. Instead, what he does
That's
is
because they're always better looking than him. So it's amazingly, complex.
But what he's put out there is that don't take a selfie. Let's talk for 20 seconds.
But isn't
20
that
seconds.
kind of
How American can you get? You got 20. Hello, my name is Charles Johnson. My father's name is...
Have a real interaction rather than just a selfie.
But I don't think Aziz Ansari will still remember that person, even if he talks to him for 20 seconds.
He's not going to remember him.
So it's the same. At least with the selfie, the guy gets...
you're at an event, there's an event, you do a show or whatever,
Right.
it goes well, there's nice energy in the room, people won't take a picture, chat with you, it's not a bad thing, okay? You just do it. It's like a wedding. It's like a Punjabi wedding, but you're not paying for it, so be grateful. And I think we should just leave it at that.
I think you should. I think people should take... people should engage well with
after
fans,
1,500, everybody will crack, if that happens. But, I'm Cyrus,
there is a limit.
so it's not 1,500.
There is a limit, but at the same time, everybody should engage as far as possible with fans.
I think so. I think so, honestly. And again, like I said, this fame thing just disappears one day. Then you'll be saying, boss, mera picture le lo na. And they'll be like, get out of the frame. Hey, uncle, don't photobomb. Are we done? I think we're done.
Yes.
Abbas has already left the building.
Yeah.
Okay, folks, great news for me, not so much for you. We're going thrice a week. We're not repeating shows. We're going on thrice a week, 2 regular shows and a new one, the birth of a new one called Lanso, Left Arm Not So Orthodox. It's talking cricket. 2 great minds talking cricket. One who has never played the game and the other, well, relatively less inexperienced. The one and only, what's my name? Cyrus Brocha. Lanso. New episodes every Wednesday. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. Send us your questions on Twitter on Cyrus Says In. Or you can email us, even if you're not female, on whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
And that's what Cyrus says.
The most engaging and the most useful conversations you may have in your life are likely to be with your most challenging customers. Hi, I'm Ambi Parmeshwaran, and on this podcast, I will take you through my book, Sponge: Leadership Lessons I Learned from My Clients. Packed with real stories about real people, but most of all, packed with the innumerable lessons I soaked up from some of the most iconic business leaders like Ratan Tata, Azim Premji, S. Ramadorai, Karsanbhai Patel, M. Damodaran, Dr. Kurian, and many more. Don't forget to tune into the Sponge podcast. Keep sponging to keep learning.
Do you have a night routine? Well, everyone has one. And the to-do list usually looks like this. Brush your teeth, set that alarm, get into your pajamas, and switch off those screens. But here's one more to add to that list. Tune into the Positively Unlimited podcast for a dose of positive action and tips on how to build powerful mindsets. Episodes out every Monday on the IVM Podcast app, ivmpodcast.com, or wherever you tune into podcasts.